I have a confession to make with Time Master, and that's I didn't know about this game at all until I found some concept art on Twitter last year when it was gearing up for release, and I immediately thought, oh, it's Vivi from Final Fantasy IX, but blue. That led me to the Steam page, then I saw the gameplay and was like, cool, buying that on release, and I'm so glad I did, because it's taken me a year to get towards the end of the game, hurrah, but it's been a great journey to do so, and it's not exactly a massive game, but it really hurt my brain. Time Master is a time manipulation and physics manipulation puzzle game, where you have to collect all of the crystal fragments in a level and then reach the exit. But the levels are designed so that you can't do it with just one version of yourself. So, what you're doing, a bit like a VHS tape, is sending out version 1 of yourself to do part of the level, then you'll rewind time, and then part 2 of yourself will go out and do the other part of the level. But that part 2 always has to reach the exit pretty much all the time. So you're always trying to work out initially when you look at a level is how do you divvy it up, and then how do you manipulate all of the different puzzles and gameplay mechanics that get dropped in throughout this game so that you can actually get to the end of the level. So, for example, right at the very beginning, it will say have 2 bridges that as you walk across them, they'll collapse behind you. And it'll have like 2 crystals on each. So, very simply, version 1 will go on the left one, version 2 will go on the right. Then you'll meet together at the end and get to the portal. However, things start to then become much more timing based, because it might be that there's different coloured blocks and you'll need to stand on a lever that will make those type of blocks disappear. But it might be set up in a way that means that person A has to run across it before person 2 hits the switch, because otherwise they can't jump across the gap. And then person 2 needs to then hit a switch for person 1 to get over. But again, there's the same problem again. So you're sitting there trying to eyeball it in your brain, going, right, I'll give it 3 seconds. 1, 2, 3. I should have ran there by now. Hit the switch. And you can leave big time chunks when you first play this game, but everything in Time Master is scored with 1, 2 or 3 stars depending on how long it takes you to complete a level. So it incentivizes you to cut corners, go quicker, and really reduce down the lag time between each move. So I found myself playing a level being very, very safe and very, very like, more, I'm standing here for 10 seconds, just whilst I tried to work out how it all kind of mechanically came together. Then I'd be like, right, shave off 5 seconds here, shave off a couple of seconds here, and then sometimes I'd stand on something and I'm still running across it, and then I'd fall through the floor and I'd be like, no, restart. The other thing that Time Master does very, very well is it drops in new mechanics constantly. So you'll start off with just lots of broken floors. Then you'll have things like coloured blocks that will either block something or be a floor that you don't want to give way. Then it will start adding in magical shots from your character. So one will be to shatter something, one will be to turn water into ice. And that can be helpful because then that means that you're creating platforms, but then sometimes you need to shatter it and then drop down afterwards. And again, you've got to time all of this as you're wandering around, so you can really quite easily muck something up when you're doing like a full 45-60 second puzzle, making sure that everything is succinct but also in the correct order, because sometimes you can complete a level or think you have and then realise you've put yourself either on a dead end or you've missed a shard fragment somewhere and you're like, restart. I really, really enjoyed the puzzles in this. They're ones that you have to kind of pick apart and almost map out in your brain. The controls work really, really well. I like the fact that it's isometric, but you can spin everything around so that you can see everything from different perspectives. And I like just the general mystical vibe of it. There's some proper full-on 3D cutscenes that are in this, fully voice acted. There's a quite magical and majestical ambient orchestral soundtrack in the background too. There's real production values here, and I didn't expect it from something that was a time and physics manipulation puzzler. And so, yeah, I don't think this got nearly as much of a fanfare as it should have done, and it deserves a lot of love because it made my brain hurt, but in the best way possible. Time Master is out on Steam. Definitely recommend it for anyone who enjoys a good puzzler. Just remember to count in your head as you kind of run around everywhere trying to do something, because otherwise you'll just get frustrated with yourself. Puzzle Maestros, don't sleep on this one. It's a thumbs up from me. Higher Plane Games is part of the Higher Plane Network, a completely independent media outlet supported by people like you. The goal is to create the best possible content that cultivates a richer indie scene for games as well as music and entertainment. To find out more and to get involved, visit patreon.com/higherplane network. Your support makes all the difference, and in return you'll gain access to bonus content and downloads. Thank you for watching.